think you're tough, but on this track it sucks to suck. Born to race, born to fight, push the limit all the night. Feel the fire, hear the sound, burning rubber on the ground. No mercy shown, no second place. In this league, there's no disgrace. If you're not first, you know the luck, but in the end, it sucks to suck. Feel the rush, adrenaline, victory in our skin. Tighten the grip, hold the line, defeats the word we leave behind. Danger rides with every turn, in every crash, a lesson learned. The roar of engines, scream of tires, feeds the need, ignites the fire. You thought you had the skills to win, but the checkered flag is where it begins. Born to race, born to fight, push the limit all the night. Feel the fire, hear the sound, burning rubber on the ground. No mercy shown, no second place. In this league, there's no disgrace.
Welcome everyone tonight to the Core GT. This is season number 16, round number 3, coming at you from the virtual Mobility Resort Motegi. So I know it's in Japan. I know there's an oval that's pretty much kind of around most of the track. You get the little funky tunnel turn and whatnot. So looking here tonight, 75 degrees outside here. It's 83% humidity, cloudy. So the track temp is not too bad. These guys have their what is that? Qualifying currently going on. We'll pull up a little timing tower here. Nobody has set a time yet. We've got a few minutes here before we'll actually be headed in. And let's find a driver. Let's see. We got Mr. Molyneux coming up there. Let's see. And this is Schwartz setting his first lap here. Watch that BMW take in here to turn 1. Follow him around the track here. Is coming out there at turn 2. And then a long straightaway here, as you can see, down into turn 3. And definitely noticed here when they were starting up, there is a whole lot of gravel there coming out of turn 4. So turn 3 and 4 are a little, what we're going to call that, double apex. As you see, you're going down into turn 5 now. This is where the tunnel turn is. And through, yeah, and it's a nice little run there between turn 5 and 6, as you can see. Not quite on this camera yet. And then they go here through the S's. So these, you gotta just, in a GT3, it's just wait on the throttle, wait on the throttle, wait on the throttle. Down in this little short chute into the hairpin of turn 9. Followed by quickly by the other hairpin here. That's actually apparently called the hairpin. That will launch you onto the back straight. It's a nice little camera angle. As you can see, apparently there's a DRS zone there. Although, I don't remember Formula 1 coming here with DRS. But down into the back straight and into this little corner here. Coming out back under the track there through turn 12. And into the final little chicane here. You can take a lot more of that than shown there. As Schwartz will put the time up on the boards here. Where will he go? It will be provisional P5. He has one more lap to set another one. Checking in here with our current provisional pole sitter, Dan Griffin. He'll be in the Ferrari again, it appears. Currently sitting in provisional P2 is Dave Tilford. So, looks like maybe a slightly refined livery there out of date on that Ferrari. Yeah, see, trying to set that. A little bit of a time difference there between Dan and Dave. And you can see Ricky Renner in the simraces.com McLaren. And then William LeMaster there in the Ferrari. first Ford currently on provisional status is going to be Drake Leach. Ryan Merriam just getting in his first lap. That is a 150.65, so that's a nice one to do the out lap. And we'll watch Dan come across the line here, see what kind of time he kicks in. You can see how much of that exit curbing you can get away with taking. Is this going to be into the 149s? It is a 149.648. Ricky Renner only getting in a 150.64. So Dan getting a little bit of pace on some of these guys here. Looking like we've got 36 drivers out here tonight, and got an old favorite here that we're going to have to find here on track. That is going to be Nick Terrell. Nick, where's the Spaceballs? Just because it's Ferrari, we don't get the Spaceballs? I mean, Spaceballs the Beamer, that's kind of your deal. All right. So Nick getting his first lap in here, 153.98. I'm guessing Nick he runs another race before this and barely has time to practice, so gonna have to do a little on the fly there. But that is Dan Griffith's teammate Nicholas Menard looking to set his second lap, already in second provisionally. Who else do we have here? Let's see how much of this final sector here takes up the curb. You can see just almost getting in the grass there. And will Menard beat out Dan Griffin? Not quite, not down into the 149s. So nice lap there by Nicholas, but not quite enough for Dan. And then let's see, who else do we still have on track? It's Nick Terrell. Oh no, Nick. Oh. Well, there's a couple $1,000s in damage. That looks like he got away without any, actually. We had Shane here. Looks like Shane has already done his 2 laps. Warren Sanger still out on track, looking to set his last one in that Red Bull livery McLaren, as he will cross the line and have a 152.93. That'll be good enough for 18th. So we've got about another minute left here before they manage to take the grid with no one left here on track. Everyone is in the pits or in somewhere else. Looking like Nick going to try to get a little cold tire practice here, since he technically had one more lap to do. I'm going to leave it on this, and I will be right back. And we are back as they are beginning to grid up here. Gonna pull the grid up and we will set that there. All right, so looking like Dan Griffith coming with the pole here tonight with that 149.642. Nicholas there in second. Okay, got my grid thing here. Ricky Renner starting in third. Ryan Merriam in fourth. Dave Tilford starting in fifth. Sixth will be Philip Adams. Seventh, William Lemaster. Rene Badilla Jr. starting in eighth. Schwartz in ninth. 10th is going to be Sergi. I'm not going to try to pronounce your name because I'm just going to butcher that. Sorry. Connor Wagner starting in 11th. Josh Anderson in 12th. Drake Leach starting in 13th. Josh Betts in 14th. 15th will be Zane Bierman. James Molyneux in 16th. 17th starting out is going to be Michael Picone. 18th is going to be Warren Sanger. 19th, Eric Langkamp. 20th is going to be Eric Martin. Aaron Reed in 21st. 22nd, Kerry Corcoran. 23rd, Nick Terrell. 24th, Michael Rakes. William Burrow starting in 25th. Shane Chen in 26th. Lyman Chow in 27th. 28th is going to be Kevin Hayes. 29th will be Jack Peterson. Alan Gullison in 30th. 31st will be Chris Hayes. 32nd, Hazen Desrick. 33rd, Jack DeBruin. Romario Jackson in 34th. 35th is going to be Dane Simpson. 36th will be Stephen Wilcox. Actually, since we had some of these guys join in at the last second, I am going to have to add some of these guys so that this works out right. Looks like everybody is in a division, so the colors should not be acting up the way they are. Must be some sort of override on Jack there. Not quite sure. We'll get that figured out for later. As they are heading out here, pull this up. I'm going to show the overall right there on the left. And we have positions gained and lost there. Grabbing that with all the cars. Looks like the audio is a little loud, but out of that camera. But here they go, firing them off. And we are waiting for the green flag. Go, go, go. There we go. So the Fat Boys McLaren looking to get a little spot there. And it's time to try to keep everyone in shot here for these first couple turns. Looks like everybody has gotten away. Everybody is crashing. Watching our leader come through here as they come out. Not seeing anyone out there in the gravel. Sounds like we had a little door banging going on through there. Everybody's still running. Good there. Let's turn the audio down just a little bit there. Yeah. There we go. Gotta hear myself think to turn the game audio slightly on my end. But everybody looking ahead. Looks like Jack Peterson already up 12 spots. Let me find Mr. Peterson here, and we're going to click on him. Oh, that is Michael Picone having a crash there. See how this happened here. Michael in the Sim Races Ferrari there. And coming into this one here, we're going to have to go full speed. Gets a little wide and boom, right into the wall. And we're back live. The Mustang there, Peterson getting around James Molyneux. Nice little pass there. Jack starting it back 13 places down and almost 30th position. His gap to the leader now already up to about 10 seconds. Speaking of our leaders, let's check in here. Looks like Dan and Nicholas kind of starting to stretch. Well, Dan's really stretching it out over Nicholas already. Ricky not able to kind of hang on either. Looking back through here. Let's see if this updates and gets that correct. Let's reload the overlay here and see if it gets that right. Alright. Like Drake Leach trying to get around Josh Anderson here. Anderson on the inside. But Leach has the overspeed and has it done. As you see right back behind him, there is Jack Peterson working on Josh Betts. That Mustang going to be all in the rear view of Josh here. Speaking of which, let's go to the gearbox camera. There you go. Whole bunch of Mustangs down into turn one. We'll watch them come on down in here. We do not have a TV mixed here. But that is that position done for Mr. Peterson. Next, he'll have Josh Anderson to work on. That Mustang looking mighty strong here. Yeah, your top two in Ferraris, then your next three in McLarens, another Ferrari. Schwartz in the BMW, another McLaren, a Porsche up there with Rene Bonilla Jr. Yeah, it's a Drake Leach and Jack Peterson. Two fast Mustangs right here just outside the top 10. Definitely one to keep an eye on. And onto the nose here of that Mustang. Getting it done there. Game car's a little quiet. That's weird that one was over, but all right. And Jack will have to keep on going hunting, looking right here. Dave Tilford and Connor Wagner here. Tilford has lost 2 spots from his starting bit. Yeah, you kind of say, as Chris Hamilton likes to say, the accordion is my favorite instrument. There we go. Sorry, that is, yeah, Connor is behind Dave. I got that wrong. Dave is trying to track down that BMW of Michael Schwartz. I know Michael had some issues last night in CSRL, so hopefully nothing, he got that fixed, taken care of. Let's see, where else do we have a little bit of a battle? A little bit here between, I believe that's Warren Singer and Eric Martin. Looking like Eric got that pass done. Showing a crash here for Michael Rakes. Let's see what happened to Rakes here. Coming up to the final sector, into the final chicane. Oh, just a little too much brake while turning, and back end goes around out into the kitty litter. Let's see, we have anything else? Oh, showing a crash here for William Burrell. What happened to Mr. Burrell? As the Mustang on the inside. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. Alright, let's go over to our group yeah, on the timing tower here, if you will agree. Great. Well, that should be the same. Don't know why, but yeah. That can help. Yep, SDK is apparently broken here again tonight with the divisions. So SDK come back here real quick. See, there we go. That's back to working properly. All right, let's pull up the track map with the car number 3. All right. So currently leading in the quote-unquote rookie division is Dan Griffith, who will wind up in platinum. Then Ricky Renner, technically leading the platinum division. Gold is going to be Philip Adams. Silver is Josh Anderson, and bronze is Zane Bierman right now. So let's see here. Looks like we may have a little Mustang on Mustang battle coming up here. Oh, that is Drake getting just a little wide, and Jack making it look easy right there. Yep. Showing a crash here for Romario Jackson. Let's see what happens with Romario. Porsche gonna do Porsche things. It is. Loses the rear. Locks it up. Oh! Taking... that was... Yep, James Molyneux right there. So, tough luck there. James missing the front end of that McLaren. Not what he wanted, I am sure, for tonight. Alright. Yeah, checking back in with our leaders here, you can kind of see Dane and Nicholas in a little pack just running their own race, and then you got Ricky Renner and Ryan Miriam there. And now we start to get back into Philip Adams and Michael Schwartz, Connor Wagner, and Dave Tilford. Then we have William Lemaster getting around Sergi here. You can see the Ferrari of William got a little bit of damage on that left front there. Not seeing anything that. Showing Dane Simpson as being here, but not on track. Not seeing exactly a reason why, but all right. to TV view here, and let's see, where's another close battle to check in on. We still got these two going at it. Here is Josh Betts and Josh Anderson, battle of the Joshes. McLaren on Corvette. So does Betts have anything for Anderson? Like he's going to get the draft coming down into turn 11 here. Is he going to have anything as they come in? Not quite. Josh might be trying to save fuel, tucked up in nice close and behind. But here we got a little battle between Adam Schwartz and Wagner. Wagner taking a look on the inside. Yeah. Connor pulling up even past Schwartz there. Schwartz tucking it back in. Yeah, it's just the size difference between that BMW and the low slung McLaren to me is just insane that they put, I mean, God, those two cars are so different. But there you have it. That's GT3 Racing. As let's see. That all right. Checking in here. Yep. This is still kind of your closest little battle on track. Now you have Jack Peterson looking to get around Sergi here. Brakes. Yeah, Mustang known for having that good power, that big old V8. As he goes, going to get a nice little draft off the back of Sergi. Not making a ton of progress. As you can see, William with that damage to the driver's front there. Something he'll be able to get fixed when it comes around time for pit stops. Which generally in this league, somewhere around the 20-minute mark, we do a shortened fuel tank to, you know, add a little spice into it. Make the guys come down pit lane, grab a little fuel. Sometimes we'll take tires, others won't. Sometimes we'll take one or two, but I don't think we'll be seeing a ton of that tonight with a cool track temp of 90. Not so cool. It was only 81 earlier in practice. The sun is out and is heating the track up. Jack down to the inside. Is he going to have enough to make it stick? The drag race begins. Looking like Sergi's going to try to keep the nose in, decides better of it, and going to focus on his exit. Yet another pass. That's 18 passes so far for Mr. Jack Peterson. Kevin Hayes has been making his way up through the field too. He is up 12 positions. And not too far behind him is the car of Nick Terrell. So Nick kind of trying to find his groove back here. And has Alan Gullison in the Liquid Death Mustang following him through. Allison currently second in silver. Let's go in. There we go. So the timing tower is back to working the way it's supposed to. Kind of see if we do this. Kind of show you the top speeds that these guys are hitting here tonight. Currently, the highest one I'm seeing is Sergi with 150 miles an hour. Nope. Zane Bierman in the Corvette, 154. Also, Alan Gullison hitting 154. So, these guys, they're moving. What other things can we pull up and kind of see? Let me show you kind of everybody's I rating here, just so you can get kind of an idea. So yeah, Connor there, 6.9K, so definitely somebody who has some pace here in these road cars. Yeah. But yeah, that kind of show you the, you know, we've got guys all the way from down around 1K all the way to just shy of 7K. So it's quite a big split when it comes to skill level here tonight in Core GT3. Let's see what else do we have. So it's giving me an off-track thing here. I'm not sure how much I believe it, but a bunch of these guys with only a couple X's here. It would be nice if that would give us the actual incident count. It'd be fun to watch and see who might be in jeopardy of a drive-through at any given time. Let's go ahead and kill that. Just leave it up with the interval. All right, checking all the way up front. Dan finally getting a 1 second gap there to Menard, and they have pulled a 7 second gap out to Ricky Renner. Checking out this battle here, it was between Connor, Phillip, and Michael. Now it is against Michael and Phillip. Those two half a second apart. You see Dave Tilford just over that 1 second, hanging out in the background, gonna keep it close. Because it's one of those things, I'm not sure of the exact number, but depending on where you pit, I say where you pit, where you stop in your pit box, there can be about a second of difference. And that's one of those things, simulation follows real life, and looking like Schwartz and Adams got a little going on here. Schwartz getting ahead of Adams. It's one of the, this is the, Motegi's one of those tracks that you can punish the tires, but tire temps generally aren't too bad here, but just with some of these hairpins, it's real easy to slide those fronts across the tracks and just scrub them to death and lose a front end, which it's a compounding effect. What you kind of can't feel what your front end's doing because you've abused the front tires, it's just a lot easier to continue the cycle. As you see Dave Tilford now coming up to the back of Phillip Adams. I'm going to hop on with Dave here and see. That doesn't look quite as close from that angle now, does it? Hop in the cab here with David and see. So they were taking a lot of these curves. You can see the tire tracks there through the grass. Check in here. It's Kevin Hayes and a McLaren trying to run down Josh Betts here. Gonna Hayes stick the nose to the inside and give a nice little overview here. You can kind of see how the drafting and it's not really going to be enough unless you're just better on the brakes, which it looks like Hayes might be. That was Josh going a little wide there, trying to give some room to Drake. Glad they did not just bang each other into a wreck. And that is Josh Anderson closing up to the back of Josh Betts. So this Josh on Josh battle might come to fruition again here. Another little battle going on between Rene Badia Jr. and William LeMaster. So looks like that aero damage has affected William here a little bit. 21 minutes. So I imagine we would start seeing some pit stops here pretty soon. Check in with James Molyneux after that accident we saw earlier. So far, the only one having to come into pit lane, but came in on lap 6. So he may be okay, because if these guys have to stop twice, and he's already pitted in his lap 6, that might be enough to extend and only have, having to have stopped once. So definitely something to keep an eye on and see if James catapults himself to the end there. Speaking of pit stops, that thirsty Mustang Peterson, who was up so many positions, having to come in one of the first takers down pit lane. Let's see what our pit times are looking like. Somewhere 17-18 seconds is normal. Oh, I'm seeing a black flag next to Mr. Peterson's name here on my SDK. Someone must be serving a penalty, maybe speeding on his entry to the pits. That is going to hurt. So you see the rest of these guys now down pit lane. Checking back in with our leaders here. They have done 12 laps. They'll be coming up to their 13th. So if they pit this time, yeah, we're 23 minutes in. Generally, if somebody's going to try to keep it out there and only make one fuel stop, you're going to kind of have to make it that 28, 29 range, especially if you have a full pace lap. We did not have a full pace lap here. They did start on this little short back straight. So definitely one to keep your eye on here tonight. Not pitting so far. Yep, that is Dan and Nicholas in there. See if Ricky Renner is going to join in, or can the McLaren squeeze a little more distance out? It looks like the McLaren can. It is one of those cars that I find when you try to save fuel in the McLaren, sometimes you can go a little faster. As we will have a new leader out of Ricky Renner, while Dan Griffin and Nicholas Menard go and get some fuel. It is Tilford coming out of the pits now. And that's Tilford coming into the pits, sorry. Very busy pit lane currently. You can see how many cars are coming in. The cars that are going up in the air are guys that are taking at least one tire. You can see Schwartz did not come up. Tilford got dropped down, so he must have taken at least a tire. And we'll have to see how everybody fares out. Looking like your group that is trying for 14 laps on the stint is going to be Ricky Renner, Ryan Merriam, Connor Wagner, Philip Adams, Kevin Hayes there. And all of those are McLaren. So it sounds like the McLaren has the ability to stretch that tank at least an extra lap. We'll see. Oh, no. No, Ricky, no. Get it going. That is not going to help Mr. Renner there. Spinning from the lead is not what you want to see. Sorry if that is a commentator curse there, Ricky. We will go on here and see. Jump back up to Ryan Merriam here and see how he comes out. Is he going to go in for the pits? We'll see. That is the line to the pit there, pit entry. It is a very tight one. So Ryan in, let's see. That kind of shows you that gap there. We'll see how they... And shocker, Philip Adams going out to get one more lap. These lap times of 2 minutes. He's going to be on the cusp there. He might do the one stop. And he has a 14-second gap to Dan Griffin. Pit lane time being 44 seconds. Saving an entire pit stop. This could be a strategy. We'll have to keep an eye here on this tonight. That is... So Ryan Merriam taking the extra lap there. Yeah, 221 versus 154 for kind of lap times while you pit. That is just under 30 seconds is what it's going to cost you to come into the pit lane and come back out. So All right, looking back through here, let's see. I'm getting some weird. Oh, okay, there we go. Looking like Alan Gullison and Nick Terrell. This little combo just kind of marching on. So this is after their pit stop. Did not separate these two by very much. About a second, half a second difference in their pit times. With Nick Terrell being a little quicker. I've got a feeling that might be down to someone not taking a windshield wipe. And, ooh, you got Alan looking on the inside there. As that is Nick Terrell running a little wide. Alan Gullison. Not Alice, I'm sorry there. Alan getting the move done. Philip Adams in the pit lane now. Looking back to see where Jack Peterson filtered out after having to serve at 58 seconds, that is. An 18-second stop plus 40 seconds for speeding in the pits is going to be my best guess. And that has put him down to 24th place, cost him quite a few positions. But Kevin Hayes up 18 spots, so currently your hard charger award. Let's look back through here. Yep, look at all that gravel that has just been strewn all over the track. Get a pass from Drake Leach on Lyman Chow. Drake also with a 1 minute and 3 second pit stop. That is a very long pit stop. I'm gonna see, did Drake have showing it off track here? Did he get some damage from this? Oh, nope, just kind of lost it there. That was pre-pit stop, so everything appears to be okay. Let's see, checking back in. What is the gap here? It is 1.4 seconds between Nicholas and Dan. You can see visually what that looks like there. Ron Miriam having to carry the... Woo! That was a whole lot of dust up in the air. Is that going to be... Michael Rakes that would have gone off there. As Ryan's going to want to get around Michael as quickly as possible here. Going to take that inside line. And Connor Wagner here, 2.7 seconds behind Ryan. Their last lap almost about even, 151.18 for Miriam and 51.16 for Connor. But you have right now Dan Griffith out front, setting a last lap of a 150.36. So, kind of at a different postcode there, Dan. Got a little bit of a battle here that's going to be between William Master and Philip Adams. Master getting that damage fixed in the pits there. And that is Kevin Hayes. So nice little battle going on here. See who comes out the winner. Adams, you know, won that extra lap. We're past halfway at this point. Master getting the move done there on Adams. He's one Ferrari and two McLarens, and they are nose to tail. Not barely a half a second gap here between 8th and 10th. This is Formula One. This is for the final point. Yeah. But it's not. These guys battling it out, looking like they're having a good time. And that is LeMaster pulling away here. Ooh, a little bit of slide out of that Ferrari. So nice save there. Here also, we've got the Terrell and Gullison train still intact here. Looks like Terrell got around Gullison. A little bit of drama here there between what is this here? This is between Drake Leach and Eric Martin, showing a crash. What happened here? Oh, Mustang not quite slowing up in time. Scrolling there. All right. Check back in on this little battle here. So Hayes up 18 positions. Can he, if he gets around these two, that would be up 20. And that's 2/3, little under 2/3 of your field passed. It's fun, Mr. Where did he go? Jack Peterson running after his penalty in 22nd. Let's check in with Mr. Mike McCone here, running 20th. Looks like he's trying to. Last lap, looks like Anderson in front of him is slowly pulling away. He might make a little, looks like he's making strides at trying to catch up to Kerry Corcoran up ahead. Here's one we haven't seen all night is Eric Lanecamp, running in 17. Yeah, seeing a few more Porsches than we're kind of used to. It's so much gravel on the outside of that corner. That is Josh Bix, Nitz Terrell, and Alan Gullison. Looking like for a second they were going to try the 3-wide. Boys, this is not Talladega. I don't recommend trying to go 3-wide into turn 4. But currently looking like Nick Terrell coming out on top of this battle. It's like Peterson is caught up to Aaron Reed. What are, let me double check. Our sole Lamborghini here tonight. Nice little, was that one of those marker style paint jobs almost on that Lamborghini? Not seeing any Mercedes here tonight. The only one I'm showing was Dane Simpson, but he did not start the race here. All right, let's check back in with this little battle here. Looks like LeMaster is able to stretch that gap a little bit, got it up to 8/10, but Adams and Hayes still kind of locked in there. Ricky Renner, after his spin, has gotten past Dave Tilford. And looking like he's going to be trying to run down one of his teammates now. Michael Schwartz. Connor Wagner still doing really well. Last lap ran a 150.82, where Dan Griffin, our leader, ran a 150.85. Noah running a 150.3 and closing the gap back down to Dan. I wonder if they're going to try to maybe, since they have a 16-second gap on Ryan Merriam, do these guys try to work as a team a little bit? Does Nicholas try to fuel save a little? See if he can eliminate a pit stop, or at least not give those McLarens the ability to take a lot less fuel in the second pit stop, which we're probably another 5 to 10 minutes away from at this point. Get a little water there. That is Schwartz coming in for his second pit stop. Will be 22 minutes or so that he will need to run to the end. I'm seeing a little bit of damage there that just got fixed on Schwartz's vehicle. Let's see, did that happen when Ricky passed? No, that was a pat in pit lane. I am not seeing anything involving him, so must have been slight car contact with someone else there. Connor Wagner has caught Ryan Miriam here the last lap. Had about a half a second of pace on him. So we'll have to see if Connor makes quick work or if Ryan can put up a little bit of a battle here. This battle heating up as well. LeMaster and Adams. So, watch this right here. We'll watch it in full speed and see what happened. We're getting a bad exit out of there. Kind of getting a little bit of freight train effect coming on to here. Quite enough to hold an inside line and make it stick, but that gives the inside back here. So come down into this corner, into the other hairpin. Hold them off there. Go back live. These three kind of just playing with each other, but as I said earlier, in 8th position overall, Kevin Hayes, that puts him up 20. Your current hard charger. Our previous one was Jack Peterson, who is up into 21st now. Alan Gullison up 17 positions. Still behind Nick Terrell as they come up to the back of Ryan Medina Jr. and Sergio. So this will be a little bit of a battle, looks like. 94 degrees out on the track. And their speeds to kind of give you an idea how fast they are getting around here tonight. That's Nick Terrell. Got around Renee. I have Gullison going to try to work on Renee. It goes to the inside here with that big old hurt. Making that pass look easy. So Allen wanting that hard charger nod for the night. Currently leading in silver. Philip Adams ahead of him leading in gold here. So Nick Terrell, last lap running a 151.2. Philip Adams running a 151.7. There is, between them, about 8 seconds. That is Nick Terrell into the pits for his second stop. So at this point, I imagine we can make it to the end on fuel. Check and see the gap between Philip Adams and Dan Griffith, 36 seconds. So if they take a little less fuel, looking like we found somebody who stopped for their second pit stop here. That was 9.6 for Josh Betts when he came in to get his fuel. So we're 18 now. Maybe not enough for Adams if he can pull off the one stop to get past Dan, but definitely enough to put him back up in front of Connor there. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, but having to try to keep Kevin and William behind will not be an easy task. Another one here. Aaron Reed looking to get around Renee here. Trying to crash here for Hayden. What happened to Hayden? In the Mustang. Down into the... Ooh. Okay. Looks like somebody had either an equipment or some other sort of failure there. Our checking in with our bronze leader here, Mr. Zane Bierman, has Shane about 7 seconds behind him. Wondering if Renee has some issues with that car. Check in and look. I do not see any obvious body damage. All the tires are still under the fenders. There's no missing bumpers. Yeah, I'm really not seeing any damage on that, so no clue why Renee seems to be so off pace there. Kevin Hayes coming in for his second pit stop, or going out from his second pit stop. 11.57 in the box there. So we will have to keep on these two up here and see where they come out in relation to Hayes. So Lemaster pitting on lap 13 and Adams on 50. So there's a little bit of a difference there between these. Ooh, with all the traffic that has allowed Nicholas to close that gap down even more. Definitely under a second now. You can kind of see as they're coming up to the bronze leader of Zane Bierman. Bierman goes, I'm going way over here. Y'all have at it. Well, not required to move over for the leaders. Not a battle he wanted to be in, even though being teammates Dan and Nicholas, it's not really a battle until the end. They're going to want to make sure both those cars can make it to the finish. As you can see, that 17-second gap to Connor there. Connor did get around Ryan. So the top four currently all rookies, with Ricky Renner taking home the platinum win currently. Ooh, showing a crash here for Lyman. Let's see what happened here. That is Schwartz behind him, showing Schwartz having an off track. So, oh, not what you want to have happen there. Schwartz jumping to the pits after that. So unfortunately that is going to hurt Schwartz a good bit there. Checking back in. Last lap Connor 150.47. The leaders 151.97, but we saw they were going after some traffic. Let's get an update here. As Dan and Nicholas should be going across the line here shortly. Let's see, now that they've had free air on this lap, that time is going to drop down to a 150.6. So Connor definitely with a little bit of pace might be able to, yeah, that gap will be coming down. Don't know if he's going to have enough time. We'll keep an eye on that. Check in with our series sponsor here, Mr. Josh Anderson. If you need anything from Chase Decals, make sure you reach out to get with him. They're not like a lot of other graphic shops. They don't do a lot of race cars or personal projects, but they do fleets and business stuff. So if that's something you need, please get in touch with Josh. Going back in here. Looks like Ricky Renner has caught and passed Dave Tilford. So Ricky's lost 2 spots from where he started in 3rd. Or is that Dave catching Ricky? I don't know. One to keep an eye on here. So starting to see some other people taking on their second pit stops. That's going to be Eric Langkamp and Jack Peterson. Peterson was up 11 positions there. Have to see how he cycles out in the pits now. But we are 48 minutes into this race. Yeah, Barry, I wouldn't mind seeing Ricky get a win here tonight, but it's about a 30-second gap to Dan and Nicholas. I'm not sure that's going to be very possible. Broadcasting might be better than my racing, but I think that one might be insurmountable unless Dan and Nicholas have some bad luck. That is Connor Wagner, a new leader of the race overall. And as Dan comes out, let's see what that gap to Connor's going to look like. Gap looking like it's about 9.5 to 10 seconds from Dan there, and that is Nicholas is on the MV tail. Now, if these two battle, that could give Connor a little something. Connor made it 14 laps the first go round. And we're on 27.14. That's, yeah, they should be coming in next lap if it's the same. There's another guy here, though, to keep an eye on. And it's going to be our gold leader currently of Phillip Adams, stopping on lap 15. So it'll be lap 30. Yeah, if you just do the straight math. And that's another 3 laps or so. That's 6 minutes. You'd have to have an extra 4 minutes of fuel saved up in there. Ooh. Would be tight, but be interesting to see if he can do it. One of those things definitely it would put 19 seconds to Connor. That could put him somewhere near Connor if he can pull it off. See if there is any action going to happen between these two teammates on their way to the finish. I only imagine there has to be some team orders not to wreck each other. Look back through here. Any other close battles? We have Renee and our bronze leader of Zane Bierman here, about a half a second apart. Looks like Alan Gullison managing to get ahead of Nick Terrell. Looks like it was in the pit stops, maybe. But that is now a 3-second swing in favor of Alan. And this is Kevin Hayes and William here. Both of them have pitted. Phillip has yet to pit. To show the difference in not pitting is 28 seconds. So definitely one of those things, you know, if nothing else, even if Phillip does have to pit, going that extra lap on both stints, you know, will he take a lot less fuel than someone like Ricky Renner? Looking like the lowest fuel I've seen taken so far. Quickest pit time in the second phase is going to Dave Tilford with a 9.72 second stop. Looks like our leaders currently have everyone lapped up to 22nd position. They should be working on Aaron Reed here shortly. But that is Connor into the pits. Ryan going past for an extra lap. So, can Ryan extend by 8 minutes? Not sure. But if Ryan got 15 this time and 14 last time, that would be quite impressive, and that's not going to help having to slow down for the gold. But that has put Dan and Nicholas on his tail. So the question is, if he can pull out an extra lap, can he... Let's see, running a 152 last lap, so might be in fuel save mode. Anyone to see here? It's going to at least make him pass him on track, or if they're going to just kind of back off knowing that McLaren is going to have to go into the pits at some point. With about 6 minutes left to go in this race. Do a quick little sponsor read here, since I almost forgot. Kim's Cups and More is your one-stop shop for all your apparel needs. Whatever your pleasure, Kim's Cups and More has it all. Check them out on Facebook today. That's Kim's Cups with a K and More. And we do appreciate our sponsors helping to pay for the broadcast. And if you're interested in joining the CRN crew, reach out to either me or Carl or any of the admins in our Discord. We can see about putting you in the booth. Hint, hint, Barry. Let's see, you got Nathan Nickerson cheering on Miriam. Which Ryan going in for his pit, 7.43, taking the short pit away from Dave Tilford. So it looks like these McLarens there with the fuel saving that has caught them a little bit of time back. So 1.5 seconds from Connor to Phillips. And lap 30. The question is going to be, where do we end this one? If Philip has 2 more laps of fuel on him, possibly. I mean, that would be a crazy stretch of the tank there. But if that's the case, looking like Connor is going to be able to get around Philip regardless whether he pits or not with that kind of closing rate. But your leaders, I want to say at this point, because they are 1 and 2 and 3/10 away from each other. Definitely have to see if they're, even being teammates, so the glove's going to come off on the last lap and see who can, post that final hot lap and maybe make a pass. Looking down through here, looking like after the second pit stop, most of these guys have opened up, and that is Philip Adams coming into the pits now. So he will probably drop back to about Ricky Renner to Dave Tilford area. Be one to keep an eye on here. But considering he was battling with Hayes and LeMaster, see where they all come out here. The battle between Hayes and LeMaster was one of the last ones left here on track that was under the 1 second timing that SDK gives me something for. And that is Adams coming out. Let's see, let the thing kind of get it set here. 6.9, 6.8. So yeah, that's given Phillips a 7-second lead over the guys he was battling, stretching that tank out and only needing to take 6.7 seconds worth of fuel on that pit stop. I can guarantee you didn't take tires doing it that quick. Let's put him out behind Tilford, but ahead of Hayes. So as we getting ready to close this one out, give a shout out to our last sponsor here, Backbone Candle Company. Just a small candle company made by a tough mom, strong family, and a new dream. Check them out on Instagram, whatnot, Facebook, and TikTok. So need to check in and see if they ever did that two-stroke candle. All right. Looking like Hayes and LeMaster are lining up to have their final battle. 58 seconds left. Let me see if I have turn one. I don't see anything. Let me check the final corner. We don't have one there. Keep an eye here. I think TV1's going to give me the best shot of seeing. Oh! See if we can see the flagger here anywhere. I'm looking. I don't have a Barney cam. That is the white flag lap, so they are lap. See, half a lap to go for Dan and Nicholas here. Let's see how they do. Is Nicholas going to try to make a sin? Because you really got the option of either down here under the back straight or possibly coming out of the end of this back straight. You can launch it down the inside or try to set up a pass coming into the last hairpin. You can see Nicholas looking like he might want to take a look. Decides better of it and tucks back in. And looking like, yeah, there we go. Nicholas had everything in it. Ew, little wiggle there at the end. But not going to have anything for Dan here tonight. Dan holding a half a second lead there. Third place going to go to Connor Wagner. He will come across the line now. In platinum, it's going to be Ricky Renner. I'll get him in here. Let's see, so then, yeah, and looking like Philip Adams took home the gold here, and Zane Bierman going to take home bronze ahead of Alan Gullison, our silver winner. Look at that. Not something you generally see. Don't see the bronze beating out silver very often. But congratulations to Zane there. Alright, so let's pull up now that we have our results here. Dan Griffith taking home the win tonight. Nicholas Menard in second. Connor Wagner coming in third. Fourth will be Ryan Merriam. Fifth, Ricky Renner. Dave Tilford in sixth. Philip Adams in seventh. Eighth is going to be Kevin Hayes. Ninth, William LeMaster. 10th, Sergi there. And boom, here we go. 11th is going to be Nick Terrell. Josh Betts in 12th. 13th is going to be Renee 14th is going to be Zane. 15th, Alan. 16th, Kerry Corcoran. 17th, Eric. Jack in 18th. 19th is going to be Josh. 20th is Michael. 21st, Aaron. 22nd, Jack. 23rd, Shane. Eric in 24th. Chris Hayes in 25th. Lauren Sanger in 26th. William Burrow in 27th. 28th is going to be Laman Chow. Michael Ricks in 29th. 30th is going to be James Molyneux. Drake Leach came in 31st. 32nd, Michael Schwartz. 33rd, Hayden Romario in 34th. 35th is Dane. And 36th is Stephen Wilcox. So let's pull this back up here. Let's roll it back to here. Do this. And we will pull in. Our first one is Zane here. There we go. And who do we got? Zane. Zane, this is John in the booth. You got a copy. Going pretty good. You managed to beat out Alan, who was the silver division winner. So congratulations for that. Doesn't happen too often. But y'all came down. I think it was like 6/10 there at the end. So good job, to get that. But kind of saw you didn't have too much drama again here tonight. Just kind of, ran your own race and got it done. Saw you jumping out of the leader's way, running all the way next to the pit wall there. Yeah. So one of the things, the Corvette, I saw quite a few spins out of the Corvette tonight. Was just a little loose, or?
Yeah, I don't know what set everybody else was running, but I know I was on the same one as a couple other guys, and I'm not sure that they were the ones that had the issues either. But I will say that normally I run just like the normal high downforce sprint set for these kind of races because I'm not a big custom setup guy myself, just because I got a 7-week-old baby, so even the couple minutes it takes to visit a website and get a free one is sometimes out of the options for me. But the one we ran tonight, it felt a little bit light in the wheel and it was a little bit slippery in the rear. But I found that that one helped me put like 2 or 3 seconds on my quick time in practice this week, so I stuck with it tonight.
Well, congratulations. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 55 machine before we let you go celebrate?
Well, thank you for spending your time with us here tonight. Everybody at Core for putting on these races 2 nights a week for GT and O'Reilly. I'm in both of them, so it's always a pleasure to get to talk to you guys. And I'll thank my wife for watching the little guy tonight so I could race.
Again, congratulations. Hopefully we can catch you next week.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right. That was Zane Bierman. We're going to pull Mr. Alan Gullison in here. Alan, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. How's it going, John?
Yeah, it's going good, but you let the bronze division winner beat you.
I know.
Like, do you know what that does to David's wonderful little core rating thing?
I didn't let him beat me. I pulled over to the side of the road so he could pass me. That's what happened.
But
yeah,
no.
Unfortunately, I just had a freaking VR headset. It just went out. All I saw was black. So I just I just hit the brakes, kept the steering wheel straight. I had no idea where I was going. I was able to restart it and get back out on the track real quick. I had no idea what happened to it. I had to go back and watch the replay and see what happened. But I guess I just drove off the track and then stopped in the gravel trap. So under that kind of circumstance, I don't think it could have worked out any better. It could have been way worse. So luckily I didn't take anybody out or anything like that. So
that's one of the reasons I quit using VR, because I had one race where I kept losing the center, And I finally
Uh-huh.
had to, like, real quick, yank it off my head, set it next to me, and then recenter the thing and just go with that view.
Yeah.
I don't recommend
Yeah,
doing that, but when need must.
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating, but I mean, it is what it is. It rarely ever does that. That's one out of maybe 2 times that it's ever done that to me. But yeah, it's just sucks when that happens, but it is what it is. It's, I'm here just to have fun. So it's,
You and
you know,
Jack doing
it's
the
what it
first
is.
challenge, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to get I mean, it's hard passing those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, sometimes it is. Some of those guys just do not want to let you by, which is fine. They shouldn't. They should never let us by. So, some of them do, but they shouldn't. And but I mean, that's the fun in it. That's the challenge, is trying to get around uh people that you have a little bit more pace on, and do it safely without taking them out or taking yourself out. So I think I had a little bit of an issue with the car. It might have been James. I'm not sure, but I think I got to go back and watch the replay because I'm not exactly sure what happened. So we'll see.
Headed to the Temple of Speed next week, Monza. You looking forward to that one?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that track. That's gonna be a blast. So can't wait.
Well, all right. Well, anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 11 machine before we let you go celebrate?
Uh, yeah, give a shout out to Jack Peterson for the setup. Setup is great. Car is great. I never thought I would enjoy driving the Mustang, but yeah, I'm having a blast with it. It's a lot of fun. I think his setups make it even more fun. So yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, again, congratulations. Hopefully we'll catch you next week.
All right, thanks, John. See you next week.
All right. That was Alan Gillison. Now we're going to pull Mr. Philip Adams in here. Philip, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, buddy. How you doing?
Doing all right. So saw you again running long on the fuel, taking a little less than everybody else, but that gets you a nice little gap to I believe it was William and Hayes there at the end.
Yeah, I was really trying for one stop because I almost had it last week, and then I really should have just abandoned it and drove faster. I think I would have been beaten Tilford if I would have just driven faster.
Well,
So
that's the one thing with the McLaren. Sometimes when you drive it to save fuel, it goes faster.
it does. Yeah, I'm pretty much that way in every car. I think I just went too hard on it. I think I could have abandoned at least the last lap that I'd saved and just driven a little faster for 2 or 3 laps. And I think that would have helped me, but I really wanted to try for the one stop, so that's what I was really going for.
Well, all right. I know we're headed to Monza next week, and being in the McLaren, it's a good place for the McLaren.
Yeah, the curbs and the second chicane are going to be so much fun.
Well, but also you have those nice long flowing corners that the McLaren really loves it when you get to load it up nice and slow.
Yes, it's going to be a good race. I'm looking forward to it. This season's been great. I'm having a blast. It's my highlight of the week.
Well, again, congratulations. And anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 35 machine before we let you go celebrate?
Team Fat Boys, and are you doing it again? Are you doing this again solo?
Yep.
Man, thank you very much. If I crash out, I'll come join you in one. But man, shout out to you and shout out to Team Fat Boys.
Well, we appreciate that, and congratulations, and hopefully we can catch you again next week.
Yes, sir. See you then.
All right. That was your gold winner, Philip Adams. And now, it'll be fun. I'm going to bring Ricky Renner in here. Ricky, this is John in the booth. You got a copy?
John in the booth, how's it going?
Going all right. I may have had some commentator curse on you, clicked on you, and immediately watched you spin the car.
Well, that makes me feel a little better knowing what happened because I watched it like 10 times and I'm like, I have no idea what happened here. But now it makes sense. So thanks for clearing that up because this was going to be the most depressing first place interview of all time,
Well, yeah. So, Ryan has joined us, and definitely, he was putting in some good laps there too.
No, it was a good race. Those guys were flying, and me and Ryan were just like sitting there on our own little island for the first half of the race, and I started realizing way too late that I think I could have just one-stopped the race, and just got myself in an awkward flow of like, why am I saving fuel for a reason? Like, it doesn't really make sense to save if I can't get to the end, not in the position I'm in, and just everything went south. And then after that spin, I was just mentally not there anymore. And I came around on the last lap and I looked and I was like, I guess like P5 with the people that beat me, nothing. And I was like, dang it, I still won platinum because they're all rookies.
Yeah, for now.
This is going to be an awkward interview. It's going to be an
Yeah.
awkward interview.
So do you think without the spin you would have had anything for Connor Wagner by the end there?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, before the
Would have been a
spin,
good race.
was in a good mindset. Like everything was good, and after the spin, like my lap times were 8/10 a lap slower. I just wasn't there mentally and was making too many mistakes to really know. But I think like if I could have kept the pace that I had prior to the spin, then we would have been okay because we could have stayed like mid to high 50s, and we had a little bit of a gap there. Like I think we could have made it a little interesting there at the end. But with that, it was just salvage what we could.
Again, congratulations. You know, at least next week you're headed to Monza. You gonna be sticking with the McLaren or?
Oh, it remains to be unseen. I really like the car a lot.
I don't blame you.
It's probably my favorite car to drive in there. I've been trying to drive some other stuff lately, and maybe I just need to switch and get out of it. But I mean, the car's really good right now, so it doesn't hurt to be in it. Some tracks are better than others. Like tonight, the Ferrari on the last like quarter of the track was unreal compared to the McLaren.
I
We
feel
would
like it
stay
can put
pretty
the power
even.
down a little bit better in some of those slower speed
Yeah,
corners.
we would stay pretty even, and once we got to like the hairpins, like where I crashed in the corner after that, they were pulling 2/10 from corner to corner every lap, and it's like that's where the whole time loss was right there. So we'll just have to drive it and see, but I don't know. I enjoy driving the car most nights, so we might stick with it. It won't be good forever.
Again, you know, congratulations for winning platinum. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 53 machine before we let you go? I'd say
Yeah, shout
celebrate,
out.
but I know you're gonna skulk.
Yeah. Shout out to the whole simraces.com crew. Everybody was hanging in there tonight. It was at least entertaining. So there's that. And you guys for putting on, you know, a good series here. I guess you for sitting up here in the booth, you know, it looked like you were up here solo, just toughing it out. But shout
It
out to
is
you
what
for
it
sticking
is.
around and doing that. And all the guys for showing up and making it a really competitive season. So it's nice to have something to chase out there and something to keep motivated. So maybe these endurance races and special events will get done here soon, and we can put more time in for week to week races.
Congratulations, and hopefully we can catch you again next week.
Yep, thanks.
That was your platinum winner, Ricky Renner, and now we're gonna pull in second place, Mr. Nicholas Menard. Nicholas, this is
What's
John in the
up?
booth. Get a copy. All right.
I gotcha.
You know, so you know, it looked like Dan was starting to pull away from you a little bit. Then I guess, you know, a little traffic brought you back. Were you trying to save some fuel behind him, maybe just in case somebody tried to one stop it?
No, man, I was honestly giving it pretty much everything I had. I didn't want him to beat me. So I was running the tires off of it. We did have a thought when we opened up that first little gap. We were like, did we mess up? Is it possible? And then we were like, no, it's possible. So it was just kind of pushing as hard as we could.
Yeah, definitely. You know, kind of saw towards the end there after the traffic, you'd gotten that gap down to half a second, but looks like you were trying in the final chicane, but got a little leery, and so you wiggle in the rear end trying to get on the power. So you're definitely pushing
I
all
was
the way.
for sure. Yeah, I was trying to play some mirror games, just just trying to force a innocent mistake, just a little off track enough for me to get side by side. But Dan's too good for that, and man,
I
he
was gonna say that the
drove a
man seems
fantastic
like he
race.
drives like a robot almost.
Yeah, we were talking. I think we had that one mistake where we went deep, and then of course the incident with a few of the cars there when they checked up and went a bit slow through the kink at the bottom of the hill. That was scary, but we all survived.
Yeah, that definitely is one of those, like, probably got your heart rate up a little.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was I was like, man, are we good? We good? Everything was driving straight, and then luckily we only had like 2 more laps until the pit stop, so we were able to take that fast repair and no harm, no foul. Just got the like you said, got the heart rate going.
All right, well, we're headed to the Temple of Speed next week, Monza, home of Ferrari. I mean, I know that's technically Maranello, but it's not far away.
That's right.
Y'all two gonna stick with the Ferraris for the rest of the season? Or being silly season now, you thinking about a change?
Well, initially I would have said we would stick with the Ferraris, but I really didn't realize that, so we might have a discussion to make.
All right, well,
Yeah, man.
anybody you want to give a shout out to on that number 100 machine before we let you go celebrate?
Yep, just my teammate Dan. He tweaked a little bit of the setup and helped me out on this track. It was my first race ever here, so he was guiding me and coaching me up a good bit, and just shout out to him, man.
Again, congratulations, and thanks for putting on a great show.
Yep. Thank you for broadcasting and being a good host.
No problem. All right, that was second place, Nicholas Menard. Now we're going to bring in Dan Griffin. Dan, this is John in the booth. You get a copy.
Yeah.
So, kind of led that one from start to finish, lights out. And Nicholas said he was trying to push on you and play peekaboo in your rear mirror, but didn't seem like you had any any trouble with that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually didn't get a very good start, so I appreciate Ricky pushing instead of going 3 wide at the beginning, but yeah, I don't know. After that, yeah, just kind of kept tires alive. It was a long race on a pretty tight track, and just wanted to keep the car in one piece.
Yeah, we we're asking Nicholas, with it being silly season now, if y'all were going to look at a different car from the Ferrari, or if you're perfectly happy riding the Ferrari out for the rest of the season.
No, I don't know. I don't actually have that many hours in it, but I've been enjoying driving, and I think Maynard has too. So I think we're happy sticking with it. It's pretty good right now too with the current iRacing BOP and everything. So yeah, it's a pretty good car.
Yeah, I've seen some of the officials looking a little bit like the Ferrari Challenge Cup.
Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah, it is a newer car for us. We've kind of intentionally picked the same car at the same time just to kind of work on stuff together, and so it's relatively new for us still. So we're enjoying it.
Well, congratulations again. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on that 101 machine before we let you go celebrate the victory?
Oh yeah, just Nicholas and the 100 Force guys. Yeah, it's an awesome team. So been having fun with them, and looking forward to next week.
Again, congratulations, and hopefully we can catch you again next week.
Sounds good. Talk to you later.
All right. That was your winner, Dan Griffith, and that's going to be it for tonight from here at Mobility Resort Motegi. Keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down, and we will catch you next week.
Engines roar, the lights go green. Metal beasts on gasoline. Pedal down, no turning back. Feel the thunder on the track. Chrome and steel, the battle calls. Through the smoke, we stand tall. Rivals crushed, we leave in dust. Speed is our only trust. You think you're fast, you think you're tough, but on this track it sucks to suck. Born to race, born to fight. Push the limit all the night. Feel the fire, hear the sound. Burning rubber on the ground. No mercy shown, no second place. There's no disgrace if you're not first. You know the luck, but in the end, it sucks to suck. Feel the rush, adrenaline, victory in our skin, tighten the